This on my wrist is the brand new Fitbit Versa 2. And in this video, what I want to do is give you my honest review. I've had some time to use this, so I'm going to be sharing with you 3 things that I love and 3 things that I hate about the brand new Fitbit Versa 2. What's up guys and girls, welcome back to another video here on M Kwan Reviews with me, M Kwan. This is the channel where I talk about my passions including technology and lifestyle. If you're new around here, I'd love for you to join me, so do hit that subscribe button down below. I consider myself an optimist, so it's probably a wise idea to start off by talking about the positives. Generally, what I've found with my time with the Fitbit Versa 2 is that I've had an overall good, positive experience. But here are the 3 main things that really stand out about the Fitbit Versa 2. Number 1 is the design. Now there are 2 elements that have been upgraded which really stand out. The display, it's no longer an LCD display. This is an AMOLED display, and what that essentially means is that you're getting a much better quality of display. The first thing about an AMOLED display is that the colors are incredibly vibrant. Another thing that is nice to see that Fitbit have changed from, let's say, the previous generation Versa is that they've removed that Fitbit branding and logo that was on the front of the display. So it gives you a much more cleaner and much more overall uniform display, and again, it's easier on the eyes. Another thing to note, particularly in this part of the world where we get a lot of sun, is that AMOLED display is going to be better for really bright conditions where you're out and about. I would have liked to see a slightly more brighter display, would be an advantage, but compared with, let's say, the Versa, the Ionic, or even the Inspire, the Fitbit Versa 2 display is much better. Another point is the bump up in processor. Now most people are probably going to notice this when they're swiping through the different options or they're trying to sort of start a workout directly from the Versa 2. I was incredibly critical about how clunky and slow Fitbit OS felt, even on trackers like the Fitbit Inspire. But I'm happy to say that having used this for a while now, the Fitbit Versa 2 does a really good job with the OS, and I think a big part of that is the bump up in the processor speed. The second thing is related to battery life. Now this is a major big deal. If you think about it, a lot of the tech that we have on us, that we use daily, it constantly needs a charge or a recharge. But the Versa 2 went really well. I've managed to get like a 5 days worth of battery with notifications turned on, with a ton of use out of the smartwatch, and also with the always on display. And I think that is absolutely incredible. Thinking about that when compared with something like the Apple Watch, I've been trying out the Apple Watch Series 5 recently. I mean, that needs a charge at least once a day. So for something like this to go completely for 5 days straight is a great advantage. Now there is one disadvantage which I'll talk about related to the battery in the second part of this video, but for now, if you're looking for really good battery life, the Versa 2 will deliver on that. The third thing, and this is a big point, is the price. This Fitbit Versa 2 is gonna set you back right about $200 or just over $200 depending on where you're buying it from regionally and whether you're buying it online or in store, which is an absolutely incredible price to pay for a basic smartwatch stroke fitness health tracker. Compare that with something like the Apple Watch. And yes, the Apple Watch is much more in terms of functionality, it's tied in with hardware, but the difference in price is considerable. Also, and I've said this in the past with other Fitbit videos and Fitbit product related videos that I've done, the Fitbit app offers a ton of really health specific information and stats. Things like sleep tracking, something that's still lacking in a premium product like the Apple Watch, is available on the Versa 2. Now, a couple of things, you're gonna get Spotify Premium, you're gonna be able to load up apps for like Starbucks, for Uber, and also it's tied in now with Alexa Voice. I'm not a big Alexa Voice user, but I know there are many of you out there that will benefit from that. So having that on here is a big advantage now. All right, so we've spoken about the positives. Let's walk down negative lane. The first thing that I dislike about the Fitbit Versa, and this might mean nothing to the vast majority of you given the 5 days worth of battery life, but for me and for travelers like me, this. Another charging and clunky charging option to come with the Versa 2. This is something that I've complained about in the past when it comes to Fitbit products. It's something that I wish Fitbit would get their act together and just do some kind of standard and streamlined charging cable or charging option across the range of their different smartwatches, smart health trackers. So if you have a Fitbit Inspire, you have a Charge 3, you have a Versa, you're gonna need different chargers. The second thing, and this is something again that won't affect everybody, but those of you that are runners, unfortunately, the Versa 2 doesn't have an inbuilt GPS. So that will mean that when you're out and about going for your run, you are gonna have to carry around with you your smartphone. Now, for some, that's not a big deal because they might carry their smartphone with them. Now, again, I can understand why Fitbit have done that. I guess the trade-off would have been poorer battery life. And if you look at the Fitbit products that have inbuilt GPS, they don't get as good a battery life as the Versa 2 does. So I guess it's a trade-off to be made there. But if GPS is important to you, inbuilt GPS, that is going to be worth considering. The final thing, point number 3, and I think this is going to affect everybody. It's quite a big deal still with the Fitbit OS. That is the fact that the Fitbit Versa 2 is still heavily tied in with your smartphone for basic things like changing the time on your Versa 2, changing the watch face, setting up a new alarm. All those functionalities and functions still require you to go into your smartphone, go into the app and do that manually from there. Now, I think that's a big deal because if you think about what the functionality of a smartwatch should be and should offer, it should allow you to change and tweak basic things like that directly from the smartwatch or the smart health tracker, as opposed to having to go each and every time to your smartphone. Guys, so that is it. Those are the 3 things that I love and the 3 things that I hate about the brand new Fitbit Versa 2. Look, in a nutshell, is this a good smartwatch, smart tracker? Certainly, I think so. I think that if you're looking for something that has this form factor, and if you're considering this over the previous generation Fitbit Versa, I would recommend this over and above that. There is just better hardware, it's smoother, that always on display, that better AMOLED display are major factors that I think day to day most people will appreciate on the Versa 2 over the previous generation Versa. That's it from me for now in this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to smash that like button down below. If you're new around here, do consider hitting subscribe. And until next time, I will see you in another video here on M Kwan Reviews. Until then, peace and blessings.